Hi everybody and welcome to another live chat Steps of Sussex edition. Hello and welcome. As always, this is a live chat, so I will wait for people to drop in, but we have two topics of conversation today. The second one I'm going to get to in a moment is about Meghan actually sent a message to the Hubb Community Kitchen to mark obviously the sad anniversary of Grenfell, which I'll talk all about that in a moment. But the first story that I'm going to talk about today is, you may have heard it, I didn't comment on it yesterday, but there was a story circulating that Liza Minnelli had befriended Harry and Meghan and was offering them some kind of, advice and support. Some saw it as maybe a plausible story, but I chose not to, because it was from one of the red top British tabloids. It was from the story originated from The Sun, and basically Liza Minnelli has taken I think it was to Twitter actually, and she has completely 100% smacked down The Sun. She has completely slapped them down. So if I just pull up the tweet, so Liza Minnelli actually tweeted, "While I wish them well, I have never met Prince Harry and Meghan. Any statement to the contrary is a complete fabrication." And that was, of course, directly relating to The Sun, who published the article saying, and the headline read, "Prince Harry sparks friendship with Hollywood icon Liza Minnelli, who has helped him find his feet in LA." And then it just goes on. I think what The Sun actually did was to make a really, really tenuous link, because in the article, obviously Liza Minnelli was friends. She did befriend Harry's mother, Princess Diana. So I think what they've done is just kind of made a connection, just made something completely fabricated up. They've just kind of gone, oh well, who might be offering Harry and Meghan some advice? Oh, what about Princess Diana's old friends? And we know it to be the case that Harry and Meghan, of course, are very, very friendly with Elton John, who was another friend of the late princess. And I think what The Sun has done is just try to clutch at more straws and try to fabricate a relationship that just kind of wasn't there. And as Liza said, although she wishes them well, it is a complete fabrication. So Liza most definitely was not a fan of... helicopter going over, can you hear it? Yes, helicopter. Just passing over, I'm having my own personal fly past. No, but Liza was not a fan of having her name incorrectly brought into anything. And she most definitely did, I think, do the right thing. And, she slapped The Sun down, most definitely. So obviously I'm not going to read the rest of The Sun's article. You know what the thrust of it was. It goes on more about Liza Minnelli's friendship. It shares photographs of Diana with Liza Minnelli to try and obviously justify their story. But of course it turns out, according to Liza, it was a fake story. So I just thought that was quite funny, actually, that Liza completely slapped them down. And it just goes to show that even if a story sounds plausible, hey, it very well may not be. Riley says, "Oh my goodness, UK tabloid news are so desperate." Dahlia Ford says, "Just like the story about Doria moving in." Yeah. If you check their article about Frogmore, when they said Doria was to move in, they've wanted Doria to move in probably since the engagement. And yeah, there was all the stories going out about the granny flat being installed or built at Frogmore with the yoga studio and the floating yoga floor, I think it was. And yeah, those things just didn't turn out to be true. It was a talking point. People were speculating. And again, yesterday I spoke, about the way that the press was kind of trying to put Doria out as the nanny, the hired help, which, I think was deeply offensive. So yeah, the media most certainly does have their own motives and their own narratives. Sherry says it's amazing how they just make stuff up. Indeed, it most definitely is. Are they going to stop doing it? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that they will stop doing it now that Harry and Meghan, have it's about 6 months into them stepping back as royals? Do you think the press will continue with what they're doing? Let me know. I think I know the answer to it, but I want to know your opinions, especially as a lot of the British press have actually said that Harry and Meghan are irrelevant. And what was it? They're irrelevant and people aren't interested in Harry and Meghan in Britain, according to the press. But yet they still write. Just look at the amount of articles that come out, and especially look at how many articles come out on a Sunday. Right, hello to everyone who is just dropping in. Natalie says, this is my first time joining you live. Hello. Do you think the UK coverage is less negative now about them? I would probably say in general, there is not as much press coverage about them, but I don't think that's through lack of trying, because as we have seen, whenever they can latch onto something, they put it out there. I think the reduction in Harry and Meghan news stories is probably, it's part down to maybe a few things. I think obviously because they haven't launched Archie well yet, because they haven't gone full force into their new lives because of COVID-19. Everyone's life has been put a little bit on hold because of COVID-19. So there just isn't the amount of things to talk about. But like I say, that hasn't stopped them from trying to make things up. I think, another possible answer is that maybe there isn't as many leaks coming out. We spoke a few weeks ago about there potentially being a mole, and that Harry maybe discovered a mole. Now, obviously, we don't know exactly when Harry did actually potentially discover this mole, so we don't know entirely how long the mole may have been cut off from. So again, the potential that maybe inside leaks have stopped coming out to the press might also mean a reduction in Harry and Meghan stories. I don't follow the press narrative that the public are less interested in Harry and Meghan. I think Harry and Meghan stories will always, Harry and Meghan news will always do well in the UK because they are still members of the royal family. They are not working members of the royal family, but they are still members who will garner a lot of interest in people, and also all the people that they appeal to even at the stage of the engagement are still going to be interested in Harry and Meghan. If you want me to be real and honest, there is, I think, an opinion, a little opinion on the ground, although I don't think it accounts for everyone. But there is a little bit of a feeling that, Harry and Meghan have gone, that they are not doing their duty, that they've left, and therefore we're not bothered about them anymore. But I would say that is a minority. And of course, sometimes what the press do is they pick up on a minority. They may pick up on a few tweets or whatever that's been put out there, and then they run with it, and they run with it as if they are speaking for 60 odd million people here in the UK. And of course they don't speak for everyone in the UK. So no, I wouldn't believe entirely what the press say about what the British public think, because they haven't surveyed everybody and they do have their own narratives. Laurel says, I've been following the UK news. I've noticed that there have been much more discussions on the television about racism. Yes, there has been. I thought you were talking about Harry and Meghan then. But no, yes, there has been much more discussions on the television about racism, especially with the white supremacy riots this past weekend. Yes, there has. Ever since, everything that's been in the media recently regarding Black Lives Matter, there has been a really big upturn in conversation. Just tonight as well, there are programmes being put on TV about issues related to Black Lives Matter. So definitely there has been an upturn in open conversation and debate, and that's a good thing. It's good that people are talking. I mean, it's not good that it took what it took to get to this stage, but now that it is at this stage, we should all seize on the opportunity to talk and have open discussions. And like Meghan said, you know, to say nothing is the wrong thing. The only wrong thing to do is to say nothing. Oh, welcome to Leslie, who has just showed up as joining the Sussex Steppers. Hello and welcome. By the way, we do have channel memberships here on the channel where you can use custom emojis. So if I just post them in a big line, you'll be able to see what they are at the moment. Of course, over time, as I get more members, YouTube allows me to add more and more emojis. So as soon as I get more members, I forget what the threshold is, but as soon as I get more, I will be able to add more. Mercury Angel says Liza Minnelli has gone through the ringer with the press, so she's well versed in speaking out. Good for her. Oh, she doesn't care. You can tell she doesn't care. She's like, no. Although I wish them well, the story was wrong. The story was false. So yeah. Oh, Michael. There should be a join button. I'm seeing if I can show you. The join button is there. Can you see it? But it's also on my main page as well. So, and I think it varies depending on what device you are on. So have a hunt on. It'll be there somewhere. Oh, and some people are saying it's not available in their country, and I don't know which countries they are, because I suppose I can't see a reason why it wouldn't be available in all countries. But some people have said it's not available yet in their country. Yes, Stan, that was going to be my next one. A Queen Doria emoji in that beautiful Oscar de la Renta wedding ensemble, where she looked more royal than the royals, I think. Laurel says, have I noticed more royal reporters and TV personnel actually backpedaling on their criticisms against Meghan? You've noticed Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan didn't backpedal. I spoke about this a while ago. Some people were pitching it as, you know, Piers Morgan, you know, apologising and all that, but he didn't apologise. He just said that maybe he took it too far. He didn't say that he disagreed with what he said. He didn't try to unsay what he said. He just said maybe he went too far. And then, sure enough, a few weeks later, he was back at Meghan and Harry. He was back in their faces. So no. And in terms of anyone else backpedaling, no. I haven't noticed it. I mean, have you? Let me know in the comments if you have. But I personally haven't noticed any backpedaling. Justy says, Liza is Hollywood royalty and moves on another level. She is fierce and fearless. She is indeed. Apparently not available in Jamaica for channel memberships. Why? Why? Like, literally, I mean, why? Maybe contact YouTube and ask them why. Why is it not available? Yes, Doria was absolutely beautiful at the wedding. Right, I'm going to move on to the next story, which was, as soon as it comes up, Meghan has, I was waiting for it to load. There we go. Of course, it is the anniversary of the Grenfell Tower tragedy, and it really was a tragedy. I remember. I think it was was it the early hours of... No, I woke up and the firefighters were battling this absolutely horrendous fire that had taken hold on this high-rise block of flats and block of apartments, flats, whatever you want to call it. And it was an older building that had been clad with what proved to be highly flammable cladding, and they are still investigating this now. There is still an inquiry into it. The building is still there. It's just been covered up, and it was absolutely horrendous. I think 72 people in total lost their lives, and there was a disproportionate amount of people of colour and people from different ethnic backgrounds. and from different countries as well. It really was an absolute tragedy, and I can't wait for the inquiry to actually come to fruition, because people want a lot of answers. But in the wake of the Grenfell Tower tragedy came the Hubb Community Kitchen, and Meghan, I think when she came to the UK, she struck up a chord. She struck up an affiliation with the Hubb Community Kitchen because it was so close to her heart. The rest is history. She collaborated on a cookbook that went on to become an amazing bestseller. I have 2 copies myself, and she has sent them a message. So in a touching message on Sunday, Meghan told the volunteers at the Hubb Kitchen that they are the example of love in action. The kitchen has long, as I said, been supported by the Sussexes, who was set up by survivors at Al-Manar Mosque in the aftermath of the fire to provide refuge and hot meals for bereaved families in West London. And because of what Meghan's helped to do, it is still going today. They were in desperate need of funds to expand, so I think they were doing something like 2 or 3 days a week, and they soon grew with the community cookbook money, and they are still going today. So yes, as I said, sadly a total of 72 people lost their lives, and it was a 24-storey block of flats. We call them flats here in the UK. And that was on June the 14th, 2017. I can't believe how much time has gone by since. And that, as I said, it was linked to flammable cladding that lined the Tower of Grenfell. Meghan has made a series of visits to the Hubb since the fire, and held a Zoom call with the women involved in April, I'm sure we all remember that one, to discuss their plans to cook between 250 and 300 meals a day, 3 days a week for vulnerable locals during lockdown. She said, "I think back to when I met all of you and how you had all come together in the wake of what you experienced in your community. And now what you have done is such an inspiration. You continue to give back, you continue to put love in action, and that's really what Hubb is all about. We know it means love, but you are the example of love in action, and that is your purpose." She said, "I'm so proud of you, so is Harry, and we are sending so much love to you from across the pond and thinking of you today, as I'm sure it's a difficult day, I'm sure it is, but also one where you can look at how much you've accomplished in the past 3 years and how you continue to give back and be an example for all of those around you." And of course, we know that she collaborated, and together they created the Hubb Community Cookbook, the Together Cookbook. And by last summer, I don't know, the final totals now, but by last summer, it had raised more than £550,000 for the charity, and at that point had sold 130,000 copies. I would love to get an updated figure on that. And of course, the book was featuring 50 inspirational recipes from the women, and the foreword, of course, was written by Meghan. They aimed to raise 250,000 and ended up totally smashing it, because accounts from the Royal Foundation showed at that point £550,000. So what's been happening today? So in a day of tributes for the Grenfell victims, a virtual vigil is going to be hosted by the Bishop of Kensington tonight, due to the ongoing ban on mass gatherings. And of course, again, commemorative events have been hit hard by the effects of COVID-19. People, are not allowed to do that. So this vigil, as it's a virtual one, I'm hoping we'll all be able to get in, to be able to see it. I'm not entirely sure how you get to it. There may be a website, which I'll have a little search for in a moment. In fact, I'll do it now, just so we can see if there is any way that we can help support it. So I'm going to put maybe some of you can help me. Grenfell Vigil. I'm typing it in Google Live and seeing if we can... no, I can't see anything. If any of you find anything, do let me know, and I will post it in the community section. I'll keep having a look after I've gone off live, and if I find a link to anything of where we can centralise, I will post the link and update you. Right, I'm going to go to the comments and see exactly what people are saying. Thank you to Mercury Angel for the support. Coconut chicken curry. Bethany Golf says, so we can pick and choose between... What? What are you talking in relation to? No. We definitely cannot pick between politics and murder. They are both very important in everything. We do not have to pick. Laurel says, my favourite recipe in Together Cookbook is a coconut chicken curry. Yes, Meghan did do a phenomenal job. Welcome to Michael D. Burleson. Thank you for joining. Laurel says, thanks for the clarification. As someone living in California, people see the gossip magazines at the grocery store and roll their eyes. What do you notice about the general sentiment? Well, I think I spoke a little bit about the general sentiment. I mean, the thing is, we haven't really been able to talk a lot to people because of all the COVID restrictions. So normally, whereas, I'd be able to speak to people and get a really good feeling of what people on the actual ground think about things, we kind of haven't been able to. So, as soon as I'm able to meet more people, I will be like your roving reporter. I will be asking people what they think about Harry and Meghan. And hey, I will ask me that question again once people are meeting a little bit more here in the UK, and I'll probably be able to give you a much better answer. I don't think, as I said, you can always go by what you see on the TV as a true representation of what regular people, what people in the coffee shops, or people in the supermarket, or just regular people. I don't think you get a sense for what regular people are thinking and feeling just by going off what reporters, those that may have narratives in the press or what you read in the paper. In fact, I don't even necessarily trust Twitter. I mean, there's a lot of things, people are kind of relying quite heavily, I think, these days on what Twitter is saying. And you all know I do not have a Twitter presence because Twitter is full of twits. It really, really is. And Twitter is not the definitive of what people think. Reading the comments of different, social medias are not really what people on the ground think. And I think, as we say in the UK, you can get quite hung up on getting your knickers in a twist. Lots of people are getting their knickers in a twist by what they read on Twitter or Instagram. And it's not or what they see on the telly or what they read in the newspapers. And it's not a patch on actually speaking to the people on the street or speaking to people, in conversation. So don't pay too much heed is all I'm saying. And that's, a well-judged assumption, I think. Right. MSB says, that would be a fabulous What? I've missed your comment. What would be a fabulous series? CC, thank you, who says, I look much more handsomer with my current hairstyle. You can come again, my love. Come again. Margaret says, lockdown is agreeing with you. Well, thank you. Oh, by the way, I have my weekly vlog on Elliot and Matt's British Life going live at 7. So what time are we now? Let me just check. So I will need to hop off. Oh, in about 15 minutes. So hop on over there. I will be attending the live premiere. Right, I'm going to kind of go down again. Gangster Gran is laughing at the twits of Twitter. Yes. Twitter. Oh, maybe that could be a new series, the twits of Twitter. And I could read the twits of Twitter. Thank you for the hairstyle comment. Right, I think I'm done. I think I'm done today. I've kind of said all the things that are happening. So, leave me a comment about anything that we spoke about today. Obviously, this is an open forum. I try and be, as open with people as possible. Just be respectful of other people, engage in open debate, and just, just have open and wise conversations, because I know I know that we have the ability to do that here on this channel. So I'm going to leave you all now and bid you all farewell. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed, then give it a big old thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe. Also, thank you to all of the channel members. We now have, I think, 36 channel members. So thank you to the 36 people who are supporting beyond watching just watching the videos, although that is great as well. And also thank you so much to the patrons who are patrons as well. I do have Patreon. It is under my royal reviewer name. I don't think I'm going to start a completely separate Patreon. So thank you so much for anyone who supports me in any way, and even those who, you know, are just watching the videos. Thank you so much. The thumbs up helps, the comment helps. It helps to show YouTube that you are engaged with the video. So thank you so much. Right, I'm off. So from me in Shropshire, until next time, mwah to you all and goodbye.